Tutorials how to make a mask. Let's get it. For the materials, you will need a pair of scissors, a pen or pencil might work. Your pattern. For the pattern, if you just look up free mask pattern, literally the first one that comes up in the photos, right there, is works really well. The one I use, I cut out, I saw it out, and it's easier to trace. But if you're not making a bunch of them, you should be fine. The only thing I would do is add an inch to the right side, if that makes sense. You'll see later. You'll see why. You'll also need your inside fabric and your outside fabric and some elastic that I didn't show. Yeah, the first steps are pretty straightforward. Outline it, cut it out. I feel really awkward when it's these steps that are really simple and I don't know what to say. So this is me cutting out my pattern. That's the outside. And now I'm doing the inside pattern. What am I supposed to say? Also, I was just recently informed that my grandma and my dad watch these. So I'm going to try to tone down the cursing a little bit. Hi, Grandma. Yeah, so if you see me cursing less or hear me cursing less, that's why. That was a good way to fill up the space. And look, it's almost said that shit is almost cut out, but I'm not cursing anymore. Anyway, take your two inside pieces, right side to right side. You already know what the deal is. Sew them together. Mine doesn't have a right side. They're both the same on both sides. But if yours does, this one definitely does have a right side. Make sure you put the right sides facing each other. And take the extra time to line it up. It's worth it, trust me. And yeah, sew along the curved end. And it should, if you did it right, which I'm sure you did, it should look like that. Now you're gonna basically open them up so the outside is facing up and then the outside is facing down on the piece you put on top. So again, it's just right side to right side. Y'all know what it is by now. Y'all get the idea. And then just sew along the bottom and the top. And then you just make sure both the bottom and the top pieces are facing, if you look at it, they're facing out. So none of the sides that you want. But all the seams you should be able to see all the seams. That makes sense. It's really annoying if you mess it up, you have to seam rip it and whatever. Actually, it's not that big of a deal, but it's just annoying. And then now we turn it all outside out. It's kind of difficult. I mean, it's not really difficult. I'm doing a great job narrating this today. Yeah, just stuff it all through and then pull it out. You see what I'm doing. I feel like I could do this with just music, and then I don't even have to narrate it, but I think you guys like my narrations, so I'm going to keep narrating it. Yeah, it should look like that. The next step I did was I took a ruler and I marked 1 inch. This is where the 1 inch comes in. I marked 1 inch from the end to tuck it back in. I'll show you in a second. Basically, I marked 1 inch from both ends. And I think 1 inch, I decided on 1 inch. It's a lot easier because if you do a half an inch, when you tuck it in, it keeps flopping back out and stuff. So you see here, I'm just tucking it inside so the edges are not exposed. And 1 inch is a good length so it'll stay in there and it doesn't flop out all the time, if that makes sense. Here. Yeah, so it should look like that now. My elastic, I forgot to put that in the materials. You need elastic, but I feel like you guys can figure that out. I cut two 7-inch strips and then marked 3/4 from both sides. 3/4 of an inch. I don't know what'll work best for you depending on the pattern you use. It's going to be different lengths, but I guess you can experiment. The other thing you can do is just sew one side and then pin the elastic on the mask, and then you can kind of fit it and figure out if that makes sense. You sew. See, I'm starting with one side. Put one side in the bottom and then sew across, and then do the other side, and then you can pin the top inside the mask and see what the right length is for you or whoever you're making it for. That's the way I did it when I was starting, and then I found 3/4 of an inch worked the best for most people. Make sure also, I don't know if you can tell, but this footage of me sewing, now it's not, but when I'm sewing, is really sped up, and it still looks like I'm going kind of a normal speed. But just make sure you're taking your time and just make it pretty, because it'll be worth it, I promise you. If you rush and it's ugly and you're just mad, it's ugly and you like. So yeah, this is like super sped up. I think there's like 4 times or some speed. Also, when you're putting the elastic into the mask, make sure the top and the bottom are like very lined up on the side, on the part where you tucked it in, because that's gonna make it really pretty if those are like perfectly lined up. Then, basically just sew and just close the sides up. When you back tap at the front and the end of the stitch, like when you go back and forth, I tend to go a little farther than usual just so I can like cover the elastic, and it'll just make it just that much stronger. I don't think you have to do it, but you know. And then I just burn the edges down with my little pink lighter. Look how cute it is. And then there is your mask. That's what it looks like. Wow. Fits well. You know. But hold on. We forgot a detail. We forgot a very important detail. Y'all know what it is, the 250 logo. Alright, I hope y'all enjoyed that. It would mean the world if you just shared it with 1 or 2 people that make clothes. I hope it's helpful. Or if you just watch it because you like my voiceovers. I love you too. I love all you guys. Have a good rest of your week. I will see you next week. Adios.